Morning, Lancelot. Okay, let's get you a delicious breakfast.
The Cookie Monster's here.
Ah, they have arrived. Still on one a day?
Yeah, that one fell on the ground, so I better have that one.
Yeah, I saw it fall.
Them two fell as well. You can't touch them.
No, it was a real accident this morning with the pastries.
Accidentally on purpose.
Now, this is the sight I want to see first thing in the morning. Every morning, Gerald.
Cup of tea,
Cup of tea, Gerald, and a pain au chocolat.
half a croissant.
Did you sleep well?
Do you know it's one of those occasions, you know, when you wake up and you don't know where you are?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know that very well.
I actually thought I was dead. Because, do you see the shape of that room? It's
With
like,
the coffin.
It's like a coffin.
Coffin doors.
I thought, that's it. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. Well, it's the best I'm going to get.
You're looking very smart, Grant.
Free. They were free.
Really?
Yeah, Intersport. Buy one, didn't realise if you buy one pair, so I got a pair for Ella.
Yeah.
And then the man said, I'll get a pair for free. So buy one, get the second one free.
Very nice. Looking chic.
That's it.
Benoit has given Philip copies of the plans and also these overlays so that we can just trace through, I say we, I mean Philip, and then write exactly where we want each electrical point. Whilst Philip's hard at work, I'm going to make him a latte because that's just the kind of fiancé I am. You are a lucky man, Philip.
I've been thinking about this for months, so
Yes.
it was quite easy to sort of put things in. But even
Yeah.
now, looking at this, I've had more things that have, like for example, there's two little candle holders here, and obviously we don't want any candles anymore because it will give soot.
Yes, no more candles.
Only have electricity, and I thought we should electrify them. Just buy the little candle.
It's a really good
things.
idea. There are some really pretty ones on the market now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the noises in the background are hilarious, aren't they?
This is my way of drawing the top of the altar. And yes, there's a whole lot of things behind it.
I
as you
can see that. It's a lot of sockets.
This is quite tall, and I had a look, and there's a gap behind there. And what I would like is, in future, like we were saying, we're not having any candles in the chapel anymore. So I want to have lamps, not table lamps, but like the ones that look like candelabras with electrified candles in it.
Yes.
So it looks like there's candles on the altar again, but then they just come on with the light circuit. And here, I know it looks like I'm putting these wall lights in the window, but they're actually quite high up, which you can see here. What I'm talking about is putting them about there.
The wall lights.
Yeah, but in line with the window. So
Okay.
one here, one on the other side.
So you'll be using this once you've decided on the placement. You'll be also drawing them on the elevation plans.
Yes, exactly. Having the three chandeliers that were always there. So 1, 2, 3. But here on the altar, there were two little brackets just to either side of it that could hold with a marble top that I think would have held more candles in the past. But I think as we'll be having the girandole, which are the electrified candlesticks on the altar, we don't need to put them there, and we can just have them for display of a religious statue or something like that. So even then, you might be thinking, why are you having 4 lamp circuits and 4 sockets? Well, I'm trying to future-proof as much as possible because we're only doing this once, obviously. So, for example, I'm thinking about Christmas lights, and if we decorate the altar again with Christmas lights, it might be nice. For them to
Music
come
system
on.
too?
Music system, absolutely. If there's anything like that we want, or if we want to put heaters in just to warm it up because we are doing a Christmas mass or whatever, it'll be nice to have points for sockets. So for example, here, everywhere tucked away behind the columns when you're coming in. And looking
That's
at
why
the
you
altar.
placed all of the sockets
Exactly.
on the other side of the columns.
You can still probably see them a little bit poking out, but not as much as you would if I put them on this side. And also, so I put one socket and a lamp circuit on each one. For example, if we in future buy those huge standing electrified candlesticks,
Yeah.
or we electrify them ourselves, then we can put them all the way down here on either side.
So you could have 6 huge standard lamps going down.
Yes. Now, the only thing is I've put these on this side instead of on this side like I've done everywhere else, because as you can see here, there's very little space.
Yes, and then this is the sacristy.
This is the door that opens, so you'd be opening it into the thing. Just in case, I've put them inside the sacristy instead,
And then we can just run a cable round
if we need it, because it's very unlikely that we will put anything there anyway,
Yes.
but there is still, a chance of doing so.
Look at you clutching your granola. It's the most heartbreaking sight.
Let the poor woman wake up.
I know, I'm sorry.
Awake.
Yeah, she's awake, isn't she? Loving the electrical planning
Can you see
session.
electrical plans? Come here, darling. Here, just so you know for posterity, look, this is where they're going. No, pay attention.
Yeah, he's not a great student.
put an accent on.
Marie, you are a marvel. Thank you very much. So what's everyone else having?
I'm having 2.
Oh, clear.
But yeah, you can have 2.
I only want one. Okay, thank
Take the
you.
big one then.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Perfect.
All right, Jerry.
Bang it in there.
1 or 2?
Jerry's had just a little bit of butter with his bread.
I like the way you styled yours, Marie. Yeah, stylish.
It's the presentation.
All in the presentation. Sorry, I like the way you styled yours too, Jerry. Very, very nice.
That's the Scottish way.
And I'm having it the Lalande way, which is with bread and a tomato tapenade dipped in. Oh, you're onto the elevations.
Well, yes, so basically I've done everything, but the cross section was not showing the sacristy, so that's why I've sort of just.
Oh, we've got new plans now.
Well, like that bit's me.
Okay, great.
Because I want to show where I want to have the light switch, which is exactly here. Because basically here, with this one, with the overview, you couldn't really see LP. I haven't done it in black, but what I mean, you couldn't really see where I wanted them, just that there is stuff there.
No, you need the elevations to do that.
That's why I'm trying to do it this way.
All right, let's go and check the plans inside then. We're going to go and check Philip's plans in place. Always good to have a sanity check.
That's the door that opens, so as you do that, you'll be able to reach around with your left arm.
Yes.
And I think it should be probably about here. About there.
Something like that. That looks good.
It's a bit bigger than that, but do you want to just try and reach round?
Okay, I'm going to walk in. I'm not even going to look at all. I'm just going to turn the light.
Yeah, basically, you're reaching the top one. So
Okay, so actually a little higher is probably
Exactly, so-
because I'm short.
probably have it there.
Yeah, a bit higher. Yeah. And we actually already have the switches there. They're by Fontini, and they're very beautiful porcelain switches that are marbled. It just blends away. It's got gold, I know, it's a bit bling, but it, in the chapel, actually disappears, whereas clearly a white plastic switch would stick out like a sore thumb. So that's your interrupteur, eye.
Yes.
Interrupteur is the French word for switch. Trois lustres, that's 3 chandeliers. Okay, so Philip's just writing that this is the switch for all of the wall lights, that's applique in French, and all the lamps. So the entire lamp circuit will come on with that one too. So as you come in, you can choose whether to have really bright lighting, putting all 3 chandeliers on, or you can just really highlight the altar by putting the wall lights either side of the altar, and also all of the beautiful electrified candelabras on the altar. They could all turn on in one go.
Either you've got low lighting and mood
Yes.
lighting with very low voltage, so it's quite soft, or you have the chandeliers and it's like, bah.
Boom.
And here, I'm going to write the other one.
And you've been planning as well for Christmas lighting.
Yes.
That's why you're putting so many in too, just in case.
Well, it's important because then we're trying to future-proof so anything that we can think of, or for our wedding, or for a different wedding,
Yes.
it's all pluggable, and we don't have to faff with extension leads. It doesn't look very pretty, as we're doing it anyway. Might as well do it properly.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult because obviously there's so much that had to be repainted, or had to be redone, and it's the same stencils, etc. But I would have had the light switch about this height.
Yes.
Because it's the only bit of original paint work up to there. I feel like we have to.
Oh dear, we have a cat. We actually have a cat. We have a cat.
But that's why I think
Okay, so you'll
it
go
should be slightly
lower.
lower, which is not
Yes.
as comfortable, but then at least,
No, we're not going to the original paint.
That's what I'm thinking.
Agreed. Yes, and he agrees. We all agree. Marvellous. We're in agreement. Interrupteur, un lustre. Yeah, I can just about read that. I think they'll manage to. Plus, they'll have it on the plan as well.
Yes.
This is just
To know
have
where
it
they-
everywhere, so that there can be
so
no
they know
confusion.
exactly what
Yes.
height.
That's perfect. The places that you have planned for the sockets are just on the right-hand side of each of the columns going down this wall, so that as you walk in, you won't be looking directly at them.
Well, there's 2 options. Either put them vertically or put them horizontally. And look, it used to have skirting, which disappeared.
I
before.
think actually horizontally along the skirting rather than
Because
vertically.
if you look there should be enough space. They put in one of the little here. There's the only bit of skirting left.
Yes, the only bit of skirting in the entire chapel left.
So I think that we should just plan to when
It used to have something in it, you know. I don't know what, but there's a hole in it. Then you were planning for the sockets behind the altar, but the altar, I mean,
Well, I know there's a space.
where behind the altar?
I'm finding it quite difficult to get between that shelf and the altar.
Yeah, I can get there. I mean, effortlessly, but
So I'm not quite sure how one would easily reach.
Let's imagine I've just arrived with a beautiful candlestick, it's electrified, and I have to plug it in.
Well, you've put it down first, so you just
No,
hold
I'm
the
still
wire.
holding it. No, I popped it here, okay? It's exactly where this light is. So the only place I could reach is here.
Yeah.
Actually, just there. It can't go any further than that.
I know.
And it's still hidden. I think you could have 4 in a square here and 4 in a square on the other side. And I think that would do it.
What I wanted to have here were those sockets that you can cover with a little cap.
Yes.
That snap shut and
Yes.
you can open. Just because if it's facing upwards and if there's any dust or any whatever, if there somehow a bird gets in, so it can't get in onto the electrics.
But this shows how important it is to actually come and check in place, because it all seems very simple on the plan.
Yeah.
A lovely row of 8 sockets, and then you come out and you realise, oh, well, they'd be impossible to plug in.
Those things I want electrified.
Yeah, this is such a good idea of yours. I love that idea. We'll get one of those beautiful electric candles. The wall lights will be on these side walls next to the altar, about halfway up the grey area. So in between the stained glass window and the patterned area.
These things are surprisingly heavy.
They are surprisingly wonderful.
They're wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful. They came from one of our guests who bought them for her apartment.
Who's coming back soon, you know?
Is she coming?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
very excited.
So she bought them for her apartment, unseen on an auction site, and she thought they would be about, like this big. Come to find. Yeah, so they didn't quite fit where she wanted them, and then she thought that we could maybe find a use for them. So
And I think we have the best use
I
imaginable.
immediately said, I think we need some lighting in the chapel.
Because they're so neo-Gothic, they're perfect for the
Yeah,
chapel.
absolutely wonderful. All right, so shall I go up there?
Yes. Good luck. One of these weird, specifically chateau-based things that one has to do.
Probably won't choose this.
Mainly just filming a bottom shot at the moment, I'll be honest. It's very hard to see with all the scaffolding in place. I think a little lower. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, it's very, very hard to tell with the scaffolding in place, but certainly not at the same height as the heads of the saints. It has to be lower than the heads of the saints.
That's a good point. And then here with the candles as well.
Yeah, so down a bit lower.
Like that?
Yeah, I think that looks good. So if you just mark the top and the bottom, and they can calculate so that it's directly below the stained glass window, exactly halfway along. At least they've got the height there now. Be very, 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 very careful.
With the wall light or with myself?
With yourself. Definitely with yourself. I like the wall light, but I love you.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not marrying the wall light. Lancelot looks as worried as I am.
Oh God, I think I'm going to take an eye out.
I know, Lancelot. He's being careful. Woohoo! Well done, darling. Every time I see you these days, you're wearing an apron, and I have to say, I like Grant in an apron.
I just said to Marie, what would you like me to do? She goes, I'll tell you when I need you, sit there and say nothing.
I didn't say that.
It kind of come across like that. No, she didn't come across like that.
Is that exactly what happened?
It was.
But don't you
The
think
lines.
a nice patterned apron brings out the masculinity in a man?
You cannot ask me that.
No,
That will
no.
not be.
You're
I
more
wouldn't
into
be
a man. Mike, you've got to admit, though, Amory in a floral shirt, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
This is the equivalent of Amory in a floral
I
shirt.
said to her, she called me from afar. She sent me a message, can you come and give me a hand? And she put the bat symbol out. I seen it. I come running.
Less talking. Just sit down.
Oh, yeah, so you're right. That's exactly what she said. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. And you are making lovely little squares.
I am.
Excellent. I love squares. What are the squares of?
They are radish juice from the garden.
I wasn't expecting that answer. Can I try a radish juice square?
Sure, they're a bit cold, so they don't taste much, but it just adds a bit of colour and flavour, I guess, to the dish.
I like it very much.
Okay.
Oh, talking about colour and flavour. Purple potatoes.
Yeah.
Didn't know they were already out and available for the season.
Run fray.
Oh, I love that shop.
And radish from the garden.
From the garden. And what are these little bits over here?
These are fried zucchinis.
Is one allowed to try a fried bit? If it was a very small one like that one.
Only if you're the chatelaine of the chateau.
Well, that's lucky because I am. So that
Chatelaine of
one.
another thing, you're not.
You're not if you're not of the chateau, no. You are the chatelaine of a house. But that doesn't count, so you can't have one.
We're starting off the evening with a comforting soup, which is carrot, leek and potato, served with coconut cream and some crispy cabbage from the garden. Enjoy.
Thank you.
That's fabulous.
We'll see you later.
Smells.
See you later.
Yeah. So for main course, you have a really I wouldn't say delicious because I got slaughtered in the comments last time.
Not
Have
possible.
a pork fillet with a cauliflower puree and scallops seared in butter, relish from the garden, and a purple potato and veal stock juice. Bon appetit, everybody.
Thank you. I'll call it delicious for you then, Marie.
Thank you. So it's a very rustic cheesecake with rhubarb compote from the garden, and our first wild strawberries of the season.
Oh, yes. It was delicious. We can happily say it was. Please, can you do Donald Duck again? It just made me really... Oh, it's so good. Yes, he's a very cheerful dog. Oh my God, he's spicy. Would you like a treat to give to him? I could get a treat, yeah. It's the middle of the night and we're all still chatting in the winter salon. It's all just been a bit too much for Lancelot, who's dreaming. Oh, someone is awake.
Wow. We could not have planned that better.
That was very easy.
He's like, oh, I wanted to perform. Where should I be performing? You're filming without me?
He's hitting his mark. Sure.